What do you mean by poverty? Take, for example, people leave their states all over and come here. You tell me because of poverty, I should carry responsibility. People leave their state and come and roll over the street of Abuja. It's a responsibility of the government of Abuja to provide houses when you leave your state. What are we encouraging? No, excuse me. What are you encouraging? What are you encouraging? You people leave their states to come to Abuja because it's the capital of the country. And then it's our responsibility to provide shelter for you. How can you sustain it?
I'm a little curious. You also attend the Federal Executive Council meeting and council meeting. Are these conversations that are happening? Because we've seen over the years this complaint amongst governors of, well, I say really urban states. Take for instance Lagos, where they do have control over people that can come into their city, but then we know there is a problem of rural-urban migration. People are seeking greener pastures. Is it a conversation that is being held amongst the governors or also in the Federal Executive Council meeting?
One thing you must understand clear, and which you must appreciate. As well today, no government can provide shelter for all the citizens. It is not possible. We must be realistic. We must. But the mere fact that we're having shortage of houses for people does not make us to fall around to our crime. Absolutely. It does not. It cannot stand. The government, whether at the state level and the federal level, is doing its best to see that you reduce this housing deficit. But again, you cannot say as a government that you take the entire responsibility of providing housing for your citizens. It's not possible.
Sorry, excuse me, boss. Honorable Minister, I'm going to take you away from, the chances in Abuja. Your giant strides in infrastructural development from roads to water, you're talking about trade. The hospitals have not felt the presence of this kind of infrastructure.
Yes, that's what you really said. Let me answer. She said so.
You've not allowed.
She said no, you have said so. That nothing to do. Say don't take all my time.
Okay, sir.
Right. She said so. But last time that I was talking about infrastructure and I was going to do other things, and that she's happy that I have fulfilled that promise by going to other sectors. Yeah. The problem we have is that when you see that you have attended to this sector, everybody believes that you must attend to all sectors at the same time. It's not correct. I told you about education. The number of schools we have been maintained and furnished, right? And you say, but why is it that people are not about okay? I'm going to direct the mandate secretary to take you to the rural area, see what are these types of schools. Now, somebody talks about youth participation and this and that. I think today we're studying about sporting activities, multi-event that will bring the youth, engage them, all those kind of. We have our budget was just released. The 2025 budget was just sent to us after the National Assembly approved, and then Mr. President assented to it. So the procurement process is on as regarding to the hospitals. We're talking about the hospital in Guatemala, we're talking about the hospital in Guarimpa, even the doctor's quarters and the rest of it. We're talking about the Otako, which are the former litigation. And so the hospital abandoned because of litigation between the private persons, individuals, and the government. So, and we've been able to sort out that issue of litigation. And then the procurement process is, for which about our procurement process, how long it takes, particularly when it concerns this specialty, this special area. We cannot just say, oh, no, let's go ahead and do it the way we want to do it. No. So I think that our next focus will be on the issue of the health. Don't be surprised that if you are invited to go the things we were doing in terms of health. You saw you really last time we met. We're happy that you are now. Anything I tell you, do home and sleep with your 2 eyes closed. That we're going to do. But people must always understand that when we talk about infrastructure, if I provide the hospital, there's no route to the hospital. How do you know? And if a woman is pregnant, another neighbor, and there's no route, how do you go there? Before you know it, that woman may lose her baby because of the bad road. It happens. Even tries to, criminal like to when roads are bad. And so people must understand that our focus on road is not just because it is the determinant to every sector. If you have a school, there's no road to the school. What do?
You have to consult.
So it's important. People should know first thing first.
Minister, the welfare of the people here is very paramount. I mean, it's good you enunciated what you'll be doing in, the health sector in the FCT. You mentioned you tackle abandoned general hospital. All the districts in Abuja are supposed to be serviced by general hospital, but there is a gradual deterioration of healthcare system in FCT as verbatimly put it in perspective, systematic deterioration. Only yesterday they issued their communique. And that is, I want you to address.
What do you mean about resident doctor? You're talking about FCT or FCT? People make mistake. There are some hospitals that are not under the FCT. There are hospitals that are under FCT. So you want to differentiate that. The one that done by Federal Ministry of Health and the one by FCT directly.
Yeah, I think the FCT resident doctors have issued, that's what you're referring to, a 5-day notice.
You understand? Talking about the deterioration in the health system in the FCT, general hospital.
Let me tell you something. See, I was a governor, and I was a council chairman, and the governor, and I'm here as a minister. What I found out in all this is that there's no time, even in Africa. Every time you hear one resolution, one communique, and this and threat of this and threat of that. Let me tell you something. When I was Minister of State Education, and then I became Supervisory Minister of Education, then I went to the vice chancellors. And who are saying, look, what ASU is demanding is not proper. They don't understand the realities. They don't understand the funding part of government and the inadequate of resources. How can you say that? Because you're a vice chancellor. Remember, before you became a vice chancellor, you were a lecturer. And you were asked. That's correct, yes. So I come down. You see, it was there I said the truth. Every sector believes that everything should be 100%. And it is not possible. No government will sit back and say, look, I don't want this sector to be functional. No. Government apply its resources based on its availability. And you cannot say all your resources must be tailored towards one sector. You have to ask the need arises. Today, the doctors are talking about training and retraining. And our said are not being paid. Today, they're like, the hospitals, there are no facilities, there are no equipment and this. When you provide the equipment today, tomorrow is look. Yeah, this equipment you are provided. What about training and retraining? You go for the so look, hazard allowance and this and that. So each time you come up with, I'm not saying that some of these things are not being achievable immediately. I must understand that. And You wake up in the morning, here it is. Oh, we are issuing government and ultimately, without even writing to government, they are issuing an ultimately. Here is, you don't engage with government and let government know these are the problems you are facing. The dream is just blackmail, threats. And by the time you sit down with them, say, look, but this is not possible. See this. You now come and oh, we did not realize that this has been done. And these are not the things that this communicate with you. Have you listened to government and want to discuss with you, see what to do, see what to do. When I was governor, doctor said, look, all of them entitled to vehicles. I said, how do I provide vehicles? I said, how do I provide it? How do I provide it? How do I provide for over 2,000, 1,000 doctors? How do I do it? I said, this is the entitlement. Okay, I should do not consider. How do you provide it? He goes, okay, I will take 50 now, or I'll take 100. They'll say no, 500. How do you provide it? And so who was realistic?
I was thinking as a leader, somehow leaders will figure it out.
No. Be realistic too. It should be realistic. Okay, take for example. I've just said the assembly. I don't want to think that. What does Abuja get from the Federation account? What do we get? What we get from the Federation account is that $1 million, $1 trillion, for example, if a month, for example, if I thought you do. 1% of $1 trillion is how much? Those of you who know mathematics. No. Which one that you? 10 billion naira. That is not up to for you to pay salary. Now, what do? You fall back to LGA. It's not.
The FCT wage bill is more than 10 billion naira a month.
It is 12 something naira a month.
Overhead.
Salary.
Yeah, that's overhead.
And for over 47,000 workers, how do you have 47,000 workers in FCT?
That's the
for Catholic.
Honorable Minister.
And then you now come to say, okay, I have to verify. Oh, labor will come in. They will strike. You want to strike some workers. This and that and that. That's what you face. But the truth of the matter is that, okay, we'll fall back to Nigeria.
Is it possible to
No,
also...
hold on. So sorry, don't let people know. Maybe you are trying to dodge because maybe your media outfit is also owing. The point of
You know that my media outfits can never...
No, you won't.
We don't owe.
Okay, don't worry. I will publish it.
We don't owe.
Now, see what happens. Now, when I come out to say, look, we must be aggressive to connect our idea to be able to solve this problem. Then you also go back and say, oh, the manner and way the city is going about these taxes is not correct. There's no human face, not this. You look. You want problem to be solved. I'm just realistic now to tell you now, look at the problems. Now put it on the table. Government say, look, see what we are getting. And the only way we can achieve and get money to solve this problem will fall back to Nigeria. You know, payment of tax is a problem here. Payment is a problem. Most of you are living in Matama, Asokoro, Muse, one. There are no poor people there. When you pay.
All right, Honorable Minister, I'm sure we'll have time to come back to FCT issues, but let's do things differently in this particular media chat. Yeah. Let's go to politics. Obviously, so because just yesterday the results of the local government elections that were conducted on Saturday were announced, and it's been more of loss than kudos for the not of the election. You not only participated, but that's your state. And a lot of people are saying that your hands are showing, you know, that we're seeing since Saturday. First, your quick comment first on the elections.
Okay, so if you ask me, you can only say my hand was showing. I wanted to know that my hand was showing.
People are wondering how it happened. that the real coalition between the APC and the PDP, how did that happen? Your name is usually.
First of all, let me comment about the election. This morning, I sat down, I was giving comments, particularly channels. On Saturday, before I went out to vote, I also watched channel. What we have in this country is misinformation. It is not my fault that you refuse to do your work. I am listening, I have seen media who, if you want to go in this area, you got to do your researches. To be adequately informed, so that when you ask you questions, sometimes it gives my imagination when I see people on television. And these are people I should think that have done their investigative job, that they know their kind of investigation, they now confront you with facts. And discover that 0, 0, 0. First of all, you talk about legality of the election. It's most unfortunate. I believe that you have legal sections or legal departments who should be able to tell you what is this and what is that. I said this severally. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. He said it is illegal for you to conduct it.
That is what the mind says.
I'm coming now. Give me the opportunity. I will educate you. This one, I'm very versed in this one. Not a media work, no. I won't take your job. Now, have you read about the emergency powers of 2004 that was signed by President Nyesom? What does it say? What does it say? The president has power to suspend or modify some sections of the law under emergency rule. Under the emergency rule, you can make a regulation for the governance of the emergency areas. And the president has done that. We say, oh, it's illegal for the emergency government to, but we have sought military rule to conduct election for us. Military rule as an aberration, as unknown to law. We will accept military rule conducting an election for democratically elected people.
Was the military rule at that time? Was the de facto government?
Why not wait now? Just wait. First of all, is military rule an aberration or not?
Just to confirm, you're referring to 1999. Are you referring to 1999?
I'm coming. All of I just asked you simple question. Is military rule an aberration?
Yes.
The aberration only sustains because of the suspension of the Constitution.
Fine. Now, under emergency rule, what does it say? What does the law say? You don't get under the emergency rule the suspension of certain provisions of the law. I've said this severally. Now, you are talking about the president to leave the emergency rule by 18th of September, where the governor will come back and the state legislature will come back. And then there's no democracy in the third term. When there is no democratic elected, they cannot afford fund for the federation account. That is correct? Is that not correct?
Very well.
Fine. So the president did not nullify the local government election. It was the court that nullified unified local government election. Now, I'm coming. It was this emergency rule that gave president the power, the access to even say they should accept funds to the federal account. That was when salaries are being paid. Assuming that did not happen, well, what we have said today about local government council, where workers are not being paid because they cannot access money from the federation area. Also remember that because of this emergency rule, that the states were able to accept funds from the federation account. So people have said there was no budget, and therefore state government cannot accept funds for the federation account.
Your Excellency.
Can I finish? Can I finish? So I let the public have the benefit of understanding and even appreciate the president for what he has done. Now, if this election is not conducted, and then the governor comes in, the state legislature comes in, right? And then how will the government accept funds when they have no democratically elected government? How will they accept funds for this account? How will civil servants be paid? What will then be the fate of the grassroots level? You have crisis. You have crisis. And then the president has to do. By the regulations have made, you are therefore to conduct elections. Some people say, oh, the electoral act said 90 days, 150 days. They forget the president has power to suspend some sections and put the date by which he did by the regulations he passed or he made. And why should it be that each time is only in this part of the world? You are not a lawyer. By any act that has happened, you become a lawyer. You are not a judge who is given the responsibility for interpretation of the Constitution or laws. You make yourself a judge. And you're not taking steps to challenge this. I thought, as people who are civilized, who want the rule of law, who want the law to grow, I'll tell our party, my party, challenge this in court. This is not going to be allowed. Just like what we did when we said conducted or trying to conduct election. We went to court and said, oh, no, they have not followed the provisions of the electoral act of the Constitution, therefore they cannot conduct this election. The court gave judgment saying that you are right. It was in your legal houses where you are showing that this judge is corrupt. He took money. He did this. He did that.
But it's not.
No, I am coming. I will not allow you to retaliate. I will not agree. The world must hear. The world will hear the truth. And that's what we owe the public. When Justice Nyesom of the Federal High Court gave that judgment, it was all over you that he took bribe. He did this and that. So they were screwing it. The bar. AIT was screwing it. And I was screwing it. He went to the bar and a court of appeal. Court of appeal set aside the judgment of the Federal High Court. You also came out and said, oh, now the law has taken place. There are people who want to appeal to Supreme Court. So what said no? The Federal High Court was right. The Court of Appeal, you are wrong. See. It was based on that judgment, all of you are interpreting the number of days that ought to be given by this sect. And who appointed that the administrator has no right to appoint rubbish. The emergency law that the administrator is on behalf of the president. The president even submitted the names of members of the to National Assembly. Remember, under emergency, now there is no state assembly, the National Assembly takes over. And that's why National Assembly has of the state, of the state government. And which is why the sole administrator is the one now presiding over that budget. Nobody argued that why should National Assembly pass the budget of the state? Nobody. It was National Assembly that approved, they screened and approved the nomination by Mr. President of members of research.
Which wasn't without controversy.
Right?
Which wasn't without controversy.
Controversy how?
It's screening of the National Assembly, but let us, I mean,
No,
I digress.
you have brought it up.
Yes.
You let the public know the controversy of the chairman.
Of the chairman.
You see, that is the problem we have in this country.
Wasn't there controversy on the National Assembly?
If you create a controversy on your own, does not mean there's a controversy. What's the controversy? That the president nominated somebody, a Nigerian,
Who's not an indigenous of that state?
what is indigenship? Who would they appoint in River State now to be the chairman of River State Independent Electoral Commission? That you will not say that is bias, that are attached to this group or that group. No, tell me, you want to bring St. Atedopia aside to be the chairman? Who would you bring? There's no link to Wike or no link to this person. Now the president is wisdom to make sure at least we should have people who are a bit independent. Okay, chairman, let me go outside. Somebody who's not attached to the issue of individualship. And why not say who will do the work? And we're talking about controversy. What is the controversy? Somebody from the south.
Now, Your Excellency, the elections people are talking about
Yes.
is Wike a PDP member happy that APC won 20 local government chairmanship positions in Rivers State.
Yes.
Did you campaign for PDP?
Hold on. So Wike is very popular today.
Where are you?
Hold on.
Yes.
Wike is popular today. Is it not the same people I hear in my eyes? I hear in reality. I hear in the channel that look, Wike cannot say he is going to determine what happens or he can only determine his own local government. I've determined now in my own local government. I'm a member of PDP. I won in my local government.
And the people who won in APC, and the people who won in APC of Wike defeated Wike.
You know what I'm called. You said, look.
Well, would you be fair to say the way you are handling things at the moment, because you speak that you are a PDP member still, but every other action you take is in support of the APC.
What kind of action did I take?
You said now that you delivered the local government in this election, and you delivered it to the APC.
No, it's not correct. You see the problem we have? You see where am I? No, hold on. Nigerians should know. See where am I saying?
I might have.
I said my local government. No. I'm not treating the life program. I never said here that my local government is it. I never said so. I said your media house, all of you. You always say Wike cannot influence what happens in another local government. He can only influence what happens in his own local government. That the people in those governments are those to choose where to go to. And I've agreed to that. And I've influenced, campaign for my people, vote for PDP. And my people have voted for PDP in my local government. Now you're angry that APC won. No, listen, you're angry that APC won in the local government, which means why did I not extend the influence I didn't have?
I'm not talking about your influence. I made it, okay.
Are you happy with the results of these elections? 20 local government councils, a clean sweep by the All Progressives Congress, and just 20 local government councils by the PDP. Many times on this platform, three by the PDP. A lot of times on this platform, in the media chat, you have said that you will work for the re-election of President Bola Tinubu ahead of 2027. Is this a preview of what is yet to come in the 2027 general elections?
Now, can I tell you, the local government that determines who wins what in the state is my local government. is Portable local government and Ogogo and local government. And these are local government won by PDP. Listen.
That what occurred in Rivers State over the weekend on Saturday is what we are going to see in 2027. That is my question.
Mind you should know that every election has its own perspective to look at it. Two, you should know what is happening. Are people happy with what is happening in PDP? The PDP contest in those local governments.
Where is it contested?
Yeah, PDP contest.
Sorry,
it's not correct. Go and get your facts. People are, see, that's why when you want to say something.
The last time I raised this issue, of a collaboration between the APC and PDP.
Let me educate you, because you are free to go and do your research. Even what you said, see what he said. You don't even have the facts.
Well, not in all the
No, it's not about saying. If I were you, what you should have done was to go to research. Can I have parties who are participating?
No, you don't allow us to do that.
No, I don't.
You want me to give you the facts now?
Can I,
from the research?
No, you know. You can't give me. You see, excuse me. This is for us. For me to educate the public.
All right.
It's not for you to educate the public.
Okay.
So don't be taking my time before you go on the advert and this and that. So let me tell the public. I thought that you should have written to research. Can we have parties that are contesting this election? What are their candidates' names in the local, in the various local government? It's not every party that can say we see their candidates in Obiako or in Port Harcourt or in Obedoma or in Omoma. No. So you don't expect to win where you don't fit candidates. And what I was thinking, for the first time in the history of this country, you didn't hear gunshots. For the first time in the history of this country, you didn't hear hijacking of materials. And for the first time in the history of this country, no political party has come out to say, look, we don't believe in this kind of election.
Do they have the strength to do that?
What is my difference of my strength now?
Democracy in 20 local government to the APC.
Yeah.
I think at the heart of what I was trying to get at was that you have often, repeatedly said you will work to return, just like you said, President Tinubu.
So what am I going to do with the local government? Why didn't I give my own local government to APC? If that is the basis.
Your Excellency, let me tell you what the research that you didn't want to hear is about.
Yeah.
In the last media chat,
Okay.
I raised the question of that alliance between the APC and PDP. That the two parties had agreed to work together and give local governments to themselves.
Okay.
Which was why in your local government, for instance, because we wanted to retain your position in PDP, Obiako was for PDP.
Yeah.
People who are very close to you politically, in Emoha, for instance, one of your staunchest supporters, Dr. Chidilon, contested on the platform of the APC. There was no PDP candidate upon the election against him. In what's Brother Francis Robo as local governor, also, it was PDP. There was no APC candidate. Another staunch supporter of yours, former chairman of the PDP in Rivers State, Ambassador Desmond Akao, I saw him campaigning for the APC in his local government. The APC won in his local government, which buttressed the point I wanted to make the last media chat, that there was an alliance. They call it Rainbow Coalition between the APC and the PDP, which was a master plan by you to maintain dominance over the PDP and the APC.
I shouldn't do not concede.
So it's not a question of whether
I shouldn't do not concede. I shouldn't do not concede. You must give us credit. To come up with such an alliance that will bring peace in the state. Why not try it in your own state and see whether it will work? So you must come to study us. You must come to study us. No, I said I shouldn't. Do not consider. What I'm saying, no, you have to hear me now. What I'm trying to say is that this is what you have done. I have not accepted, but I said, okay, assuming that was done. What does it tell you? What is important in life?
Your house in the two political parties.
No, the point I'm making, whether I have my house or not, strategy in politics is what matters.
Let's look at
Strategy in politics is very important. First of all, you always talking about gunshots in elections in Rivers State. You don't talk about hijacking of materials in Rivers State. You always say so. And now, if the people have sat down, I hear it. So say, look, we will not allow these gunshots again. Okay. We will not allow this hijacking of materials. Let's sit on our own, see how can we move our state forward. And that I'm not giving them peace. Why are you worried? That they are peace. So you would have been happy if you had Rivers State 20 people were shot. You carry such news to make headline that 20 people were shot in Rivers State yesterday. You will be very happy. Now, Rivers people have defeated you on that. They have defeated you on that. There will not be any more gunshots. Now look at even what you said. Look at what China said. They went to 113. Oromola, Arumokuta, Arumandoro. You don't know. Oromola is when they're going to Amaru, where you have lock-up shops everywhere. So they said they went to Unit 20 and 21 by 9:30. If you follow the pattern of elections in Nigeria, you know that people come out very well from 10 o'clock. When I was watching channels, they were saying voters apathy. I didn't know consider that in Unit 21, Unit 20 and 21 of 113 in order that would vote apathy. How does that affect 7,000 units? 7,000. Then when I went to my own unit to vote, the lady who was the one carrying that news was in my unit. I said, hey, you are the one whom I just watch on television now. Say, yeah. Now, what's the voters apathy now? She said, no, because I said, you want to defend your idea. Now, she said, I'm going to correct it. I said, this is the problem we have in this country. Have you been to your woman? Have you been to Uganda? Have you been to Anthony? Have you been to Wodua? Have you been to Wodawus? Have you been to Wodawus? You already have a predetermined mind.
That is unfair. The point I'm trying to make is this lady, at the point where she is, it could be there are no persons there.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. The point I'm saying, why can you say out of 7,000 polling units, and you saw Unit 20 and 21, and you are saying that voter apathy?
Your Excellency,
You are saying the wrong message.
I'm not going to defend that, and this for very clear reason, because we will not enforce what we did not see.
You are saying the
Yes.
You are sending a wrong signal.
Okay.
Which is not fair. And then you get to my unit, you saw a number card, and then I ask you, how did you know the body? She said, oh, she will correct it. That is not fair.
No, we'll report what we're saying as well. We also report what we saw.
You need to get 7,000 units.
Your Excellency, we will also report what we saw, but
You are very biased.
we're diverting from attention. Let me quickly take you up on this issue, because you try to educate us on the legality of the elections, which was the basis upon which a lot of Rivers people had problems with the elections. For a number of people, they said,
Now you have said a wrong word. The majority of Rivers people. How do you get the majority of Rivers people?
okay, well, I did not say majority, I said a lot of people.
Who are the lot of people? Because you saw 10 people who came out to write on newspapers.
Okay.
That's the problem you have.
Okay, just a moment. So let's just say some people. And let us question the basis that you said that the elections were legal.
Yes.
Which is the issue of, you said military rule. And I asked you a question if you were referring to the 1999 transition from military dictatorship to our democracy. Was that what you were referring to?
What I'm saying is this. I said, emergency rule is provided in the Constitution. I'm coming. So you know what I'm saying. Provided, and that under the emergency rule, that the president has power to make regulations concern the governance of that emergency areas. And that under emergency rule does not mean that you don't follow rule of law. And that the president under the regulation made has said elections should be conducted. And I'm saying, if emergency rule, which is even provided in the Constitution, you are saying that cannot conduct election to allow democracy at the top tier level, that if what is provided in the Constitution, allowed in the Constitution, cannot do this, are you not saying people who get to the Bible of God, which have no provision in the Constitution, cannot conduct election for democratically elected people? That is the basis of what I said. That emergency rule is provided in the Constitution, and that the president has power to make regulation as to the governance of that area. And that people are not coming up to say, no, let me just tell you, some people have said under the Electoral Act. I said, they don't even read the regulation. The president has suspended some sections of the Electoral Act and then some sections of the law concerning River State Independent Electoral Commission. And that has paved the way for that regulation to hold election. Maybe that should be your argument. But the other one should be my argument. Now, but the argument about military rule is that once you hear the martial music, the constitution is already suspended. Why not wait? You see, that's my problem with you. What I said here, you would have understood what I said. If the emergency rule that provided in the Constitution, if you are saying that they cannot conduct election because the emergency rule, and then you're not talking about the one that came to the panel of God, which you are saying they have suspended Constitution. So you understand what I'm saying? Well, the point we are making is that let people hear and let people know is that some people are going to court. What did the court say? Because go ahead with the election. And we're here beating clean ourselves under what law? The body that is allowed for interpretation of our laws has said, go ahead and go with it. Then you and I coming here to be the judge, to be the lawyer, to be everything. All right. Sorry. Who does that?
I think you've almost exhausted the local election. No, we'll still have more, but I just want to. Please, let me just quickly.
We don't want to take a break. We'll come back and we will finish this discussion around the local government elections and take on other matters as well. Please stay with us.
You know what they are unity today.
For an exclusive breakfast with Mr. Abubakar Abba-Bello, CEO of Nyesom Bank, featuring a no-holds-barred conversation on SME financing, non-oil export opportunities, plus how Nyesom is driving Nigeria's agro-industrial revolution and empowering Nigerian businesses to thrive in the global markets. Holding 9 a.m. on Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025 at the Nest Resource Center by Banex, Usetu, Abuja. Register today on bit.ly/Abba-Bello Nyesom to secure your seats and be part of this insightful conversation about the role Nyesom plays in creating jobs and exporting Nigerian products and services around the globe, and how you can benefit from it. For more information and inquiries, contact Amaka on 0806-628-8642. Brought to you by the APC National Youth Wing at the Nest Resource Center. Announcer Dr. Dyer Israel, National Youth Leader, APC.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the coordination of raw ether material slabs stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating.
The world has always recognized the creative genius of Nigerians. But what has it meant to you personally? Game-changing discussions.
TBC Communications are proud to introduce a new era in news broadcasting. But first, let me introduce my special friend, Olamide AI. Hi, Olamide Human. Is it time to come out yet? Yes, and you can bring your friends along. We are new AI anchors, speaking your language and sharing your stories. From English, good day. These are the news headlines to pin. Better country people, on a good evening. Yoruba, Ekaro, Igbo,
Auto innovation.
and Hausa. Mutane na sanar da zuwa suna na Rafi Abdulkarim kuma kana kallon TVC News. We are bringing the news closer to you, faster, smarter, and all.
$4 billion in trade and investment opportunities. Register now and enter the gateway to new opportunities.
The engine room of any nation, what is really socio-economic development, is entrepreneurs, SMEs. They are the ones that make it happen. And over the years, with my experience across Nigeria and Africa, we now have understand that the knowledge economy is lacking. Entrepreneurship, which is the foundation for entrepreneurship.
Fidelity Bank is a bank that is very friendly for businesses. We're SME friendly bank, and we're supporting young businesses is actually at the heart of what we believe in and what we do.
It's important for us to train them to look within themselves, to identify opportunities, harness those opportunities, and start to make a living out of those opportunities.
The energy was palpable, the room electrifying, and the lessons unforgettable.
Thank you so much, Fidelity. Thank you, Smedan, and thank you, Mr. Wadari.
We are Fidelity. We keep our word.
In the heart of Africa's largest economy, a silent transformation is unfolding. At the center of it all is Conga Group, an ecosystem of innovation, commerce, and capability.
Our goal was simple, yet ambitious, to build robust infrastructure that simply connects our customers and our merchants, offering our customers greater variety, creating wealth and new opportunities for our merchants.
Our energy didn't just take, it's about national execution every day.
Conga Health, where science meets beauty.
We are the engine behind Conga's nationwide delivery power.
We are refining commerce in Nigeria, connecting millions of buyers and sellers through a secure, trusted, and scalable marketplace.
Conga Corporates serves the needs of corporates, delivered at the right price, at the right time, with peace of mind. Conga Pay, a fintech built on integrity for seamless transactions for merchants and everyone. Conga Radio and TV.
The election.
Conga, what can't you do?
An awful absurdity and a travesty to the very notion of electoral democracy. Yeah. For Peter Obi, he described it as rascality taken too far and a double tragedy for Nigeria's democracy. How do you react to this comment?
Okay, thank you very much. Let me take Article first. The court local government election, right? The government went ahead and conducted the election. The same article held the government for disobeying the court order. Disobeying the court order. The Federal High Court gave injunction. The election should not be held. And we thought, as a man who occupied but number 2 position, all you could have done was to look. When the people had the judgment, how it went, it was respect the rule of law. But he supported the election to take place. name Atiku because he was the recalcitrant to his boss. He didn't know that his boss signed the emergency rule in 2004. If he knew he was obedient and working along with his boss, who the president of Obasanjo, he would have known. And the president has power to make regulations and for the government of the emergency areas. So he was not in tune. He doesn't know. And like I said, what you don't know, don't comment about it. If Atiku has commented about custom now, I know he has worked in custom, he has experience, I can give it to him. But this is law. He doesn't know that 2004 emergency and that was signed by his boss. Look at the man. Look at that system. 1999, it was in PDP. 2007, he ran on National Congress. 2011, he came back to PDP to run for the presidential ticket. He left. 2015, 14, he went to APC. He ran for the presidency. 2017, he came back to PDP. Became a candidate in 2019. Became a candidate in 2023. Now again, he has left for APC to sit for president. Did they prescribe drugs for presidency for him? Now, take Peter Obi. He said rascality. Who can be more rascal than Obi? Obi became a governor. He was governor for Anambra State for 80 years. He conducted government election. 2 months ago he was leaving office. 2 months, 8 years as governor. Does he have what it takes to comment on the conduct of a nation that was properly done and backed up by law? When Obi was governor, Nigeria forget easily. Doctors were strike for 13 good months. Hospitals were shut down. 13 good months. Are you saying that we're not aware of this? So what do you mean rascality? Who is more rascal? So you should not take the views of the, because you see, the idea is that they are looking for where they will get funding. And that's no longer available in the state. They have no capacity or moral to even talk about it. A competent court of jurisdiction, federal high court, give order, give judgment. Say, look, don't do this. Atiku was one of those who held the conduct of that election. Now, under the report of the president and the emergency rule, he has said, go ahead and conduct the government election. What I thought we should have more preoccupied is when was the election free and fair? If you ask me, I saw State Independent Electoral Commission chairman. Of course, you know, I don't even know most of them, but they call me. They are from Sokoto, I'm from Ogun, I'm from this. We came to ask their report. They said in 30 days, in 1 month, you could do this. When somebody has done well, say the person has done well. If I have my way, I will recommend the chairman and members. The president should take it to national level. It is very clear. It is very, very clear. Look at the conduct of the nation. You will see people are saying, for the first time in our history, no gunshot, no kind of violent buses, no kidnapping of returning officers. And nobody wants to come out and comment security agencies and you said, you only say illegal to you. The court will not say illegal.
Honorable Minister, earlier when you were answering my question concerning the landslide victory of APC in the just concluded local government polls, you had mentioned that the People's Democratic Party did not field the candidates in all the local government councils. However, we were also, the last time we were here, talking about the collaboration between the APC and the PDP in order to foster peace and stability in the state, even in electioneering periods. Is this collaboration a deliberate step? Or was it the reason why PDP decided not to field candidates in certain local government areas in River State in the last election?
I was saying collaboration.
No, you said
hold on. First of all, let me bring the antecedent. Before, you said that PDP contested election on the road. I said, you have the facts, you don't have the facts. He said collaboration. I said, assuming they're not conceding that there was this collaboration. No, I'm coming now. I said, assuming they're not conceding that there was a collaboration. We need not commend this collaboration. That does not mean I consider. However, let me also say this. As time goes on, PDP has been a predominant party in Rivers. No doubt about that. You also know that PDP has had its own problems. People are losing faith. In PDP, whether you agree or not. It's not to come out on television to say this or that. That is the
your own assertion of the People's Democratic Party as it stands.
I should say more than you, because you're not a member of the party.
Well, you are, Your Excellency.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. So that was I should say more.
Okay.
You should listen to me. Okay. And when I'm talking, I'm an authority in PDP.
All right.
Therefore, what we are trying to do, people are losing confidence. Our party in the state had problems on national level. We're the national level, serious crisis in our party in the state. And so many people have lost their interest. When we have lost interest, all we're trying to is look, you cannot lose interest. Those of you who still have that confidence that you can run, will encourage you. And when you don't push people to run, you have to go and pay for form. If you don't have the money, you can pay. We don't have a government who would have, of course, they are funded. Now it's no longer available. So I cannot go and purchase for everybody because I don't have the resources. I don't have it. But the one I can do, I did. To prove that how many PDP people have won one seat in their own state. Mention.
So are you proud now that out of 23 local governments in River State, your party, the PDP won 3?
No, I'm proud of PDP won.
You are proud because APC that won.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. I would prefer that I would prefer that look. I am dominant in the local government that determines what happens in the state.
That's what I want.
You cannot do that on your own. You can't.
Does that justify the huge figure that recent announced for about 350-something thousand in the last election? APC in the presidential election 2023 got just a little over that.
It's not correct. It is not correct. Listen. You see, that's the problem you have. People have. We look at the pattern of results from 1999. When I check the history, who has given the highest number of votes? You don't just come up to say, this is a local election. That you know that the turnout will be more. Councilorship is my community or family affairs. People come out. They will even take councilorship more serious than the total governorship and then because it has to do with family or communities. I don't know what your worry is. Is that it is illegal, or your worry is that you don't believe that this number of people don't have.
Our worry is how we are able to do it. PDP and APC. Because like I pointed out, those who work in APC are your boys. They are your boys.
Can I tell you, our chairman of that local government, the record was very clear. Nobody has had 2 tanks in that government, but I broke that history. I was governor of that area. You can't take my record that there was nothing. No, you cannot. You can't. The record go down. Don't interfere. Don't worry. We won. And my people believe, whether you like it or not, it's not by coming out, like I've always said, you have always preferred those who will come sunrise, who will come early morning of our lives, who don't have facts. As I speak here, I can tell you if election is conducted today, presidential election, governorship election, I can tell you how each local government will fare. I can tell you authoritatively. I can tell you where we may have problems because I have been in it and I know it very well. I'm not talking just to satisfy you. If you want to look, imagine in 2015, you had a governor who was legacy. Correct? In 2019, you had what the federal government did to us by bringing the army. It didn't work. You had a super minister, Minister Grade A. It didn't work. In 2023, you still have the same Minister Grade A. He supported. It didn't work. So look at the pattern. So let me say today, and look, let me tell you, I have a problem in the North. You know why? Now, I've never seen the level of empowerment of any state in Anambra State in terms of political appointment. It's a problem for me.